Okay. Have you ever stopped and thought about the air you're breathing right now? I mean, we all check the air quality index before going outside, but what about the air inside, our homes and offices?
Yeah, totally.
You sent in some research on indoor air quality, and it turns out it could be a way bigger deal than we realize.
It really is like kind of a hidden threat. We're all, focused on the pollution outside, but studies actually show that the air inside can be 2 to 5 times more polluted.
Whoa,
And get this, the EPA estimates that we spend, on average, 90% of our time indoors.
90%. Wow, that's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. It makes you realize just how much time we're actually spending breathing whatever's, hanging out in our spaces.
Yeah.
So let's dive into what exactly is in our indoor air. We've got this excerpt from a lecture here, which covers not only the basics but also some of the controversies around this topic.
Right. It's not just, about a room feeling stuffy. Indoor air quality, or IAQ, really refers to the concentration of pollutants that are present and their impact on our health.
Okay.
And these pollutants can be grouped into a few key categories. First, we've got the biological pollutants. So we all know about mold, but this category also includes things like dust mites, pet dander, and even bacteria and viruses.
Okay, so it's not just about, feeling clean. It's about what you're actually breathing in, those little microscopic, critters and stuff.
Mhm.
Dust mites in our beds. You've officially ruined sleep for me.
Well, I mean, it's important to be aware.
Yeah.
So beyond those biological pollutants, there's a whole other category of chemical pollutants.
Hmm.
And one of the biggest culprits is volatile organic compounds, or VOCs.
VOCs.
And they're released from everyday items, paint, cleaning products, furniture, even those air fresheners, that promise you a spring breeze scent.
So that fresh linen spray might actually be adding chemicals to the air. Not so fresh after all. What about those tiny particles we see floating in sunbeams?
Oh yeah, those are part of the third category, particulate matter.
Okay.
These tiny particles come from various sources like cooking smoke, burning candles, fireplaces, even printers and copiers. And the problem is they're small enough to get deep into your lungs and even enter your bloodstream.
Oh wow. This is starting to sound pretty serious.
Yeah.
And you mentioned building materials earlier. Could those also be contributing to indoor air pollution?
Absolutely. A lot of common building materials, especially in newer construction, they release VOCs.
Okay.
Take formaldehyde, for example. It's found in plywood, particle board, some insulation materials, even certain types of flooring. And here's where it gets concerning. Formaldehyde is classified as a known human carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer.
That's a scary thought. So it's not just the activities we do inside our homes, but the actual structure of our homes that could be impacting our health.
Mm.
And we're spending 90% of our time exposed to all this.
Exactly. It really underscores the importance of being mindful of our indoor environments. And it's not just the pollutants themselves, but also factors like ventilation, or should I say lack thereof.
Right.
That plays a significant role. Modern buildings are often designed to be airtight for energy efficiency, which can trap pollutants inside and lead to what's known as sick building syndrome.
So saving energy could be coming at the cost of our health. That's a tough trade-off.
It is, it is. But the good news is there are steps we can take to improve our indoor air quality without sacrificing energy efficiency. We'll dive into those solutions in a bit.
That's reassuring to hear.
Mm,
Because honestly, I'm starting to feel a little claustrophobic just thinking about all this.
yeah.
What about our everyday activities? Are there things we're doing that could be making our indoor air worse?
Definitely. Even simple things like cooking with a gas stove can release harmful pollutants like nitrogen dioxide, which has been linked to respiratory problems. Using harsh cleaning products, burning scented candles, even just running a laser printer. All these things can contribute to poor indoor air quality.
Wow, I never realized just how much our daily routines might be affecting the air we breathe. It sounds like we need to be a lot more mindful of the products we use and the choices we make.
Absolutely, exactly. And awareness is that first step towards taking action.
Well, now that we know about all these invisible enemies lurking in our homes, let's explore what you can actually do about it. Because I don't know about you, but I'm ready to start breathing easier.
So let's talk solutions. You sent in some information about air purifiers, and I know a lot of people are curious about, do they actually work?
Yeah, they seem like the obvious answer. Bad air.
Yep.
Get a purifier. But the research you sent in highlights, some controversy around their effectiveness. What's the real story?
Well, it really depends on, what you're trying to achieve. If your main concern is particulate matter, things like um, dust, pollen, pet dander, then a purifier with a HEPA filter can be very effective.
Okay.
HEPA stands for high efficiency particulate air, and these filters are designed to trap even like the tiniest particles.
So it's like having a microscopic sieve for your air, just catching all that nasty stuff.
Exactly, but HEPA filters aren't a cure-all.
Right.
They don't do much for those VOCs we talked about earlier or for like gaseous pollutants like carbon monoxide.
Okay.
If you're dealing with those, you'd need a purifier with an activated carbon filter.
Activated carbon. That sounds intense. How does that work?
Think of it like a sponge for gases. Activated carbon is incredibly porous, meaning it has a huge surface area that can trap and absorb those gas molecules.
Huh.
It's often used in water filtration systems, and it's becoming increasingly popular in air purifiers as well.
So if I'm worried about, formaldehyde from like new furniture, an activated carbon filter would be a better choice than a HEPA filter.
Precisely. It's all about choosing the right tool for the job. And, there are other types of air purifiers out there too, like those that use ionization or ozone generation, but those can be a bit more controversial.
Talking about controversy.
hmm
I'm always up for a good debate. What's the issue with those types of purifiers?
Well, ozone, for example, is a powerful oxidant. It's great for the upper atmosphere where it helps protect us from UV radiation,
Yeah.
but down here at ground level, it can actually be harmful.
Wait, so something that's good for the planet can be bad for my lungs?
Exactly. Ozone can irritate your lungs and even trigger asthma attacks at certain concentrations.
Oh.
And some ionizers actually produce ozone as a byproduct, so it's important to be cautious. Look for purifiers that are like certified to produce safe ozone levels or, stick with HEPA and activated carbon filters.
Good to know. I'll definitely be checking those certifications from now on. But even with the best air purifier, isn't proper ventilation still crucial? Like you can filter all you want, but if you're not getting fresh air in, those pollutants are just going to keep building up.
Ventilation is key. Air purifiers can help, clean the air, but they shouldn't be seen as a replacement for good old-fashioned fresh air.
So opening a window is still good advice. Although I imagine that's not always practical. If you live in a city with high outdoor air pollution or during it like extreme weather.
Right, opening a window isn't always feasible or effective. That's where mechanical ventilation comes in.
So we're talking systems like fans and exhaust vents.
Exactly. There are like different types of systems, each with their pros and cons. Exhaust fans are great for removing pollutants from, specific areas like kitchens and bathrooms where moisture and odors tend to concentrate. Then there are supply ventilation systems that bring fresh air into the building.
Okay.
And then for like the best of both worlds, there are balance systems that do both.
It seems like a whole house ventilation system would be like the ideal solution, but I imagine those can be quite expensive.
They can be an investment, but they can also make a huge difference in your indoor air quality, especially if you have, allergies, asthma, or other respiratory issues. And there are more affordable options like heat recovery ventilators, which can help save energy while still providing fresh air.
Heat recovery ventilators. Okay, I have to admit, that one went over my head. Can you break that down for me?
Sure. Heat recovery ventilators are pretty ingenious. They bring in fresh air from outside, but they use the heat from the stale air being expelled to warm it up.
Oh,
This way, you're getting fresh air without losing all your heat in the winter or, cool air in the summer. It's a win-win for your health and your energy bill.
that's actually pretty cool. I love a good energy efficient solution. You mentioned smart home systems earlier that can monitor air quality. Are those worth looking into?
They can be a valuable tool. There are all sorts of sensors and monitors out there now that can track things like VOC levels, particulate matter, even carbon dioxide and humidity. Some systems can even automatically adjust your ventilation or turn on your air purifier based on the readings.
So it's like having a little air quality guardian watching over your home like 24/7.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive technology.
That sounds pretty futuristic.
Yeah.
But are there any downsides?
Well, the accuracy of these systems can vary, and they can be quite expensive, which makes them, inaccessible to many people.
Right.
Plus, there are privacy concerns to consider. Who has access to your air quality data?
Yeah.
Is it being shared or sold? These are important questions to ask before investing in a smart home system.
Right. Big Brother might be watching.
Yeah.
Or in this case, sniffing. Okay, so maybe a smart home system isn't for everyone, but there's still plenty of other things we can do to, improve our IAQ, like being more mindful of our daily habits.
Oh.
Any tips for minimizing our own impact on indoor air quality?
Absolutely. Small changes can make a big difference. One easy step is to switch to natural cleaning products.
Okay.
They often release fewer VOCs than conventional cleaners.
So ditch the harsh chemicals and go for something a little more uh, eco-friendly.
Exactly. And look for fragrance-free options whenever possible. Those artificial scents can be loaded with chemicals that contribute to poor indoor air quality.
Okay, so my lavender candle is officially out. What else can I do?
If you have a gas stove, make sure you use the exhaust fan every time you cook.
Okay.
That'll help vent out those harmful nitrogen dioxide fumes. And if you're a smoker, well, I think you know what I'm going to say.
What?
You got it. Smoking indoors is one of the worst things you can do for your indoor air quality and, of course, for your overall health.
No argument there. What about humidity? I know that can be a factor in mold growth, but are there other things we should be aware of?
Humidity is definitely important. Not only does it contribute to mold growth, but it can also create a more favorable environment for dust mites and other allergens to thrive. The ideal humidity level for most homes is between 30% and 50%.
So investing in a dehumidifier might be a good idea, especially if you live in a humid climate.
It can definitely help. And don't forget about the simple things. Fixing leaks promptly, making sure your bathroom fan is working properly, even running a ceiling fan can help improve air circulation and reduce moisture buildup.
Okay, so we've covered ventilation, air purifiers, cleaning products, cooking, smoking, and humidity. Is there anything else we're missing?
Well, there's one more crucial element I wanted to touch on, and it's often overlooked, your HVAC system.
Ah, yes, the good old heating and cooling system. Most people probably don't think of their HVAC system as, a major factor in indoor air quality.
Right, but your HVAC system plays a vital role in circulating air throughout your home.
Yeah.
And if it's not properly maintained, it can actually worsen your indoor air quality. Think about it. Your system is pulling in air from all over your house, filtering it to some degree, and then pushing it back out into every room.
Right.
If the filter is dirty or the ducts are clogged, you're essentially circulating dust, pollen, and other allergens throughout your home.
So it's not just about temperature control, it's about making sure the air itself is clean. What are some things people can do to keep their HVAC systems in tip-top shape?
The most important thing is to change your air filters regularly. I recommend checking them once a month and replacing them at least every 3 months. And if you have pets or live in a dusty area, you might need to change them even more frequently.
Air filters.
Yeah.
Check. What else?
It's also a good idea to have your ducts professionally cleaned every few years. This can help remove built-up dust, debris, and allergens and improve your system's efficiency. And if you're having any issues with your HVAC system, don't wait to call a technician. They can diagnose any problems and make sure your system is running smoothly.
Makes sense. It's like getting regular checkups for your car.
Yeah.
You wouldn't drive around with a clogged air filter, so why would you do that with the air you're breathing in your home? Okay, before we wrap up, I have to ask about those indoor plants. Everyone says they purify the air. Is there any truth to that?
It's a common misconception. While some studies have shown that certain plants can help remove specific VOCs from the air, their impact is relatively small compared to other interventions like ventilation and air purification.
So don't rely on your ficus to save the day.
Right.
But a few plants here and there can't hurt, right?
Exactly. They add beauty to your space and maybe even a little bit of air purification. Every little bit helps. But, let's not oversell their abilities.
Okay, good to know. So we've covered a lot of ground here.
Hmm.
Ventilation, air purifiers, natural cleaning products, HVAC maintenance, even the role of humidity and those sneaky VOCs. It's a lot to think about.
It can feel overwhelming, but the key takeaway is that you have the power to make a difference in your indoor air quality.
Yeah.
By taking even small steps, you can create a healthier environment for yourself and your family.
I love that. It's not about being perfect. It's about, making conscious choices that can improve our health and well-being.
Exactly. We have more control than we think.
We've talked a lot about like the individual actions we could take to improve our indoor air quality, but what about the bigger picture? You sent in some research that touches on like the social and economic aspects of this issue, and that's something I'd love to explore further.
Yeah, it's an important aspect that often gets overlooked. We've discussed things like smart home systems that can like monitor air quality,
Right.
but those technologies can be quite expensive. Not everyone, you know, has the resources to invest in those kinds of solutions.
Right. It creates a sort of clean air divide. Like those who can afford the latest technology can like breathe easy,
Yeah.
while others are left to deal with whatever air quality they're, given.
That's a valid concern, and it ties into like the larger issue of environmental justice. Lower income communities and communities of color often bear a disproportionate burden of environmental hazards. And indoor air quality is no exception. They might live in like older buildings with poor ventilation,
Mm.
be located near industrial areas with higher levels of outdoor air pollution, or have, less access to resources like air purifiers and professional cleaning services.
It's a reminder that this isn't just about like individual choices. It's also about like systemic issues that need to be addressed.
Absolutely. We need to advocate for policies and programs that ensure everyone has access to clean, healthy indoor air.
Yeah.
Regardless of, their income or zip code, that could mean things like stricter building codes that prioritize ventilation,
Yep.
financial assistance for energy efficient upgrades that improve indoor air quality, or educational programs that like raise awareness about the importance of IAQ in underserved communities.
It sounds like we need a multi-pronged approach that addresses both, the individual and societal levels.
Exactly. Individual actions are important, but they're only part of the solution. We need systemic change to create a truly equitable and healthy indoor environment for everyone.
This has been like such an enlightening conversation. We've gone from like the microscopic world of dust mites to the complex, social and economic factors that influence our indoor air quality. I feel like I've learned so much.
It's fascinating how much we take for granted, the air we breathe indoors, isn't
Yeah.
it? But once you start like peeling back the layers, you realize just how important it is for our health and well-being.
Absolutely. So after this deep dive into the world of indoor air quality, what's the one like key message you hope our listener takes away?
I think awareness is key. Be aware of the potential sources of, indoor air pollution in your home, and understand the impact it can have on your health.
Yeah.
But also, like, be empowered to take action. Even small changes can make a difference.
I love that message of empowerment. It's not about like living in fear of every little particle. It's about taking control of our indoor environments and, making informed choices.
Exactly. We have more control than we think.
Well, on that note, I want to thank you for guiding us through this fascinating and informative deep dive. You've given us a lot to think about, and I'm sure our listener is already planning some changes to improve their indoor air quality.
It's been a pleasure. Let's all breathe a little easier, shall we?